Accountability. Once it is instituted, we can be sure of sustainable development. The words of Professor Akaro Mainoma. Good morning, listener. It's nice to have you join us this lovely morning as we shall be hosting ANAN, that is the Association of National Accountants of Nigeria, and of course, a teacher, very vibrant teacher and seasoned teacher. And also in the studio is the Chief Executive Officer of CNA, Dr. Nuruddeen Abdullahi, alongside the Chairman MCP, Dr. James Akaro. Neminebor. Good morning and thanks for joining us. You're welcome.
Good morning, listeners.
Yes, Association of National Accountants of Nigeria, ANAN, in Nasarawa State. Let's start with the president. We have a lot of guests in Nasarawa State, a lot of accountants in Nasarawa State. Could you share with us or give us an insight, rather, why they are here?
Basically, we are here for four major issues. The first is to sustain a tradition. What I mean by sustaining a tradition is that since we have established the association, we have decided that it is not enough to acquire qualifications, but it is also important that you continue to upgrade your knowledge. You continue to have mandatory training from time to time. So the association has established a program that they call Mandatory Continuous Professional Development Program, that is expected that every member must attend at least once in a year, so that you would be abreast with new developments in the accounting profession. So that tradition has been there for the past 42 years, and we are sustaining it. The second major issue where we are in Lafia is to understand the environment. The Association of National Accountants of Nigeria believe that it is not enough to remain within your environment and without knowing other parts of the country. So this program is established in such a way that it is rotated among all the 6 geopolitical zones, and in every year they take alternate states within the zone, so that you will understand the totality of Nigeria. A lot of people are staying in their domain and they don't understand the culture of other people. So we believe that for you to be effective in the kind of things you do as an accountant, you will need to also understand other people's culture and their environment. So that is giving us a second major reason why we're in Lafia, for other people to come and see what is happening in Lafia, so that they can borrow some of the things that happen and also replicate it in their environment. The third major issue is learning new techniques. There are developments in the accounting profession that comes in standards, working papers and things like that come up once in a while. And once these papers come up, once these standards come up, there is a need for people to be abreast with content and practicality of these standards. So they now come to understand it, review it, ask questions about it. So learning is a major issue. Then the third one is examining our procedure. The fourth is examining our procedures and processes. There are things we do within there that members need to know, and then to examine it and also find out whether that is the best way to do it, or there are weaknesses in the system that can be addressed. So that is in a gathering like this, we'll be able to look at those issues and then find a better alternative of doing the things we do. So five major issues: so sustaining the tradition, understanding the environment, learning new techniques, and also examining our procedures. So if you ensure you just say Sule, that we are in Lafia for Sule, sustaining the environment, which is the S in Sule, understanding the new environment, which is the U in Sule, and learning new techniques, which is the L in Sule, and the E in Sule is examining processes and procedure.
Wow, teachers have their way of doing their things. Okay, listen, if you're just joining us, we have in the studio Association of National Accountants of Nigeria, and then the president just enlightened us on why we are here. And of course, we have also in the studio the Chief Executive Officer and Chairman MCPD Committee. Now, let me come to you now, Dr. Nuruddeen Abdullahi. It's another date for the program. What is so significant about this year's program from the other ones we've held?
Well, the significance of this year's program has to do with the timing. You know, last year we were facing or were challenged by the pandemic of COVID-19, that is coronavirus pandemic. So the uniqueness of this year is that it comes up with a theme that will tackle issues that will come up because of the COVID-19 pandemic. If you could recall, last year almost half of the year people were under lockdown. You can see the implications of that to the economy and to humanity generally. So this year's theme, because of that, MCPD is re-engineering accounting profession in the post-COVID era. It is focused as bringing issues that would have emerged and how we can tackle those issues in fostering the profession.
Good, and now let's come to Dr. James Ekrema. Now, this MCPD we're talking about, can you share with us what the MCPD is?
Yes, good morning, my good friends and my good people of Nasarawa State. MCPD, the mandatory program in ANAN, has brought the best thing out for the professional accountant. That you are trained in generally accepted accounting principle does not mean you will stay stopped with the principles you learned at school. Continuous upgrade is the in thing, and that is where you create advantage and benefit for your employer. And that is what the country is looking for, so that we'll be able to build sustainable growth and effective administration, particularly at the finance level, to be able to bring the good benefits to our people in Nigeria and the world at large. And this is the hallmark of MCPD. We have left the gap, I've said, general accepted accounting principles to international financial reporting standards. How much do people know? There are some persons you will ask and say, oh, I was born BBC, born before computer. Must you die because you were born before computer? Won't you learn and develop your environment? Because it's the current and in thing. And this is the accountant for you. What are the current situations, the improvement in accountancy? During the lockdown, you saw that there were no meetings, yet offices were going on. Accountants were working from their houses. E-conferencing, e-accounting, and you must learn them to be in line with these principles. And these are the things we have in this year's, the major theme, like my Chief Executive Officer have said, re-engineering accounting profession in post-COVID era. And we have such subjects as digital accounting and emerging challenges. What are the current challenges in accounting? My accountants, a good professional accountant should know, so that you'll be relevant not only to yourself, but to your employer and to society. We have other things like forensic accounting. If all accountants today are keyed into proper forensic accounting, we will not be talking about fraud. And if Nigeria, if the accounting world is completely devoid of fraud, you know where we are heading to. There will be enough money for our developments. There is the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. How many professionals know them? These are the things we are going to teach in the MCPD for Lafia. The United Nations Sustainable Goals and their reporting. We also will talk about sustainable reporting. You are an officer in a company. How much do you report the financial activities of your company? Because it's through your reporting that investors and people who have investments in your company will be able to take reliance on your company and therefore invest more. So we're going to talk about sustainable reporting and investors' confidence. Without reporting, there will be no confidence by the investor. For instance, you have so much in a company and the company is not reporting their activities. You'll be afraid every day. These are the topics we have for this MCPD for Lafia.
Now let me come back to you now, President sir. From what the Chairman MCPD just mentioned about especially teaching. Now you are the host now. You're bringing the whole accountants of Nigeria together in Nasarawa State, and you are a teacher, the former Vice Chancellor of Nasarawa State University. What is the level of synergy between accountancy and academics in Nigeria?
As much as possible, there are three levels of togetherness if you want to look at it from that point of view. The first is in the development of the curriculum. At the level of the development of the curriculum, the universities, which is actually monitored by NUC, actually bring in the academics to discuss, and the professionals to discuss what are those things that need to be included for you to have people that are well trained in that particular discipline. Before you can now come up with an acceptable curriculum for purposes of teaching in the universities. The second is the issue of monitoring. You find out that the professionals have become part and parcel of the teams that go to do normal accreditation for the universities. For programs to be accredited by the universities, by the commission, National University Commission, that they look at 4 major areas: the issue of teaching, the issue of examination, the issue of supervision, are matters that, and the facilities that are available. There are matters that concern the people that are doing accreditation. So, and in those matters of looking at those indices, you find out that the professionals are involved. So there is that synergy that between the academics and the professionals. Then when it comes to post-graduation, you find out that as far as we're concerned, every person that graduates from the university or the polytechnic can now come to our college. Again, you have another major melting point where those of them that had that kind of background in accounting will now come and understand the practicality of accounting discipline in a serene environment for 9 months. So again, that gives you some level of synergy between the academics and the professionals. Then after that, we believe that there is also the need to go for what we call AIT, Accountant in Training. That it is not enough to go to the classrooms, that you also need to go to the working environment, and also for another 36 months before you become a professional. So you find out that for the accounting profession, there is that fusion between the academic and the professional in order to be what we call well-grounded, well-honed professional in the discipline.
Dr. Nuruddeen, from what the President mentioned earlier, from what I will call 5-point agenda of this ANAN week. Now, looking at the economic system in Nigeria, and just like you mentioned earlier, the effect of COVID-19 that has so many impacts on so many facets of living standard of Nigeria. Now, what is ANAN planning to do, or have done, or is going to do to help in stabilizing our economy in Nigeria?
Well, ANAN as an institution, and as a professional body, is part and parcel of economic development process. Professionals have a significant role to play in fostering economic growth. So as you have said, the current situation, Nigeria and the world over, the economy has been devastated by the impact of COVID-19, because the pandemic is a worldwide phenomenon. So as professional accountants, we prefer solutions in terms of advice, in form of advocacy on how we feel the economy should be run in a particular time and into the future. So for sustainable economic growth and development, we pinpoint economic indicators, and we give advice on how we feel those things should be tackled during the prevailing circumstances. Because as you know, the economic growth and development is not a pedigree of an institution alone. So ours is more on the advocacy sector and also in advising our clients on how to improve on their economic activities, be it industry, if they are manufacturing, we give them advice on how to tackle issues that might have arisen because of the changing circumstances. If it is an institution, training institution, we tell them how they should go about it. If it is a mining or production sector, all different sectors of the economy, including the service sector, we come up with so many advice that we feel will be better implemented at this time.
Okay. Now, Dr. James, the people of Nasarawa State, Nigeria at large, what should we expect to be the gains of the ANAN week?
Thank you, sir. I have come to Nasarawa, Lafia to be short, for 2 times now. 2009, I enjoyed Lafia. I came here 2012, and this is 2021, about 9 years apart. From when I came in 2012, or when ANAN came here in 2012, and now, I know I have seen the serious growth in the States. And we would want to, like we had in 2012, we want to really suffer in the beauty, in the growth, and that the growth should be sustained. That's the hallmark. This growth you are having in Nasarawa State should be sustained by completely contributing to the financial arm, those who hold the financial arm of the government and the private sector. If the private sector and the public sector, their financial activities are well reported and properly kept in order, growth will be continuous and sustained. We just left Cross River State in February. Now we are here. And I do know that, well, in 2012 I saw so much hospitality in Nasarawa State. If the hospitality is as the way we saw it in 2012, maybe very soon, a year or two, we will come back here again to suffer in this beauty and the hospitality of Nasarawa State.
Amen.
We hope to contribute more.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm so glad to hear you talk about my home like this, and I'm sure the president is also happy. So, President, summarily, from what we have discussed so far, we're talking about the ANAN week in Nasarawa State and what we are expected to achieve at the end of this program. Summarize it and your message.
Thank you very much. Basically, you find that like I've said, it is a tradition we have come to sustain, and we are sustaining it. We are moving forward. It is going to increase the level of economic activities because we are bringing at least 1,000 people. That if each one person maybe spend 10,000 naira, and that is already in the region of 10 million. Just to say that to increase the economic activity daily by that amount of money, and each one person may pay more than 10,000 naira for even accommodation alone. So you can see that it's going to increase the economic activities. A lot of people, there will be discussions that people will carry home, where people will have areas, and different ideas will come up, and people will actually gain in terms of knowledge acquisition. There is also social aspect of it. A lot of other people will have friends that they're meeting for the first time, and it will foster a relationship that is going to last forever. It is also an area that people will understand the culture of the people. They will see things that happen differently from their own environment that they may want to replicate in their environment. So as far as we're concerned, however you look at it, it is going to be a plus. To individuals, it's going to be a plus to the community, it's going to be a plus to the nation. But most significantly, that since we are going to look at the engineering accounting profession, you find out that those things that make development difficult are matters that we're going to discuss. If there are downturn in the economy, what happens? How do you make it grow? Those are the kind of things that will be on the table. And at the end of the day, we will find out that the whole economy is going to benefit from the kind of discussions we are going to do, and that if there are other aspects of control that is required for us to remain within a table, you find out that those things will actually be brought forward. And those are the kind of things that we'll gain in this interaction for the next 2 days. Thank you very much.
I want to thank you very much, listener, for staying tuned to this special session that we've been discussing with the Executive of Association of National Accountants of Nigeria, ANAN. And I want to appreciate you so much, sir, the President and Chairman of ANAN, Professor Mohammed Akaro Mainoma, vibrant seasoned teacher, former Vice Chancellor of Nasarawa State University, and also Dr. Nuruddeen Abdullahi, CEO FCNA. Dr. James Ekere Neminebor, Chairman MCPD. Thank you very much for coming. Listener, after this one, we hope you join us any minute from now for the television AM. Good morning. And I want to appreciate my colleague in the studio, Steve Sharma, and of course my supervisor, Rabu Oshago.